Now, a lot of people ask me, like, oh, how can I actually integrate my achievements into my response? And that's a really good question. It's actually quite a hard question to explain without discussing it with you specifically, if that makes any sense. Like, it's a very difficult question to do because every single person can integrate their responses in a slightly different way without making it seem forced. Yeah. Now, I always tell people, assume your interviewer will not look at your CV. Just frankly, assume your interviewer will not look at your CV. So, why exactly do I say imagine they don't look at your CV? The reason is because during your one-on-one interview, that is the main selling point of you. Yes, the group tasks kind of matter. Yes, the individual tasks kind of matter. Yes, the exam obviously matters. Right now, the process is you do the exam first, then you do the interview after. Obviously, if you haven't passed the exam, you're not going to get an interview call. Yeah, I'm sure if they could, they'd have it the other way around. But like they get everyone to do an interview first. But it's financially probably a burden. It's a government school, public school, selective school, true, but still quite a burden. So I'm assuming if they had like infinite budget and infinite time, they'd get everyone who wants to apply to do an interview first, and then they get you to do a test. But the test matters, right? Right now, the test is number one priority thing. But when they do your one-on-one interview, when they take you for your call, they call out your name and they ask you, oh, hey, how is the process so far, or whatever the spot is for the one-on-one interview, they will sit you down and they will expect you to basically tell them a little bit about yourself. Or even if they don't, whenever you answer a question, you should still try and weave your evidence of achievements within them somehow. And how you do that is completely up to you. For example, if I say, oh, tell us about yourself, and I tell you, oh, my name is Vihanga, I'm a JMSS graduate, I studied aerospace engineering and astrophysics at Monash University, and I also played the piano, and I got up to AMEB grade 5 or something. I don't know. I'm making something up, right? So I say, I got up to AMEB grade 5. And that is a great way to weave it in. Yeah, even if it's something bizarre, like what's your favorite science field? I'll be like, oh, my favorite science field is actually chemistry because of the way that da 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 da. And recently, I actually did an experiment in school where we did this, this, and this, and that reminded me of this time where when I was preparing for my AMEB piano exam for grade 5, where I had to do this thing. Like, can you see how just me saying, and it reminded me of this time, and then weaving in the achievement is a great way to like subtly call it out, and then I get to talk about the learning lesson. That is what you should try and do. You need to find a way to subtly integrate what you need to say within the thing itself. You need to find a way to actually subtly integrate the evidence that you have within the sentence that you do. And you have to make sure that you talk about the experience that you have from it. So if I was taking this piano example and I say, oh, AMEB grade 5 exam, and it was really difficult at the time for me to juggle my studies as well as my other extracurriculars of sport and tennis and whatever it was, like, I don't know, soccer and tennis. Yeah, let's just say you do both. It was really hard to juggle my responsibilities of soccer and tennis on top of my piano exam, because my piano exam was scheduled in for basically the same week of my giant soccer tournament, my tennis ranking match, and also one of my school's math exams was all in the same week, and then I had my piano exam in the Friday afternoon. And so during that week, it was incredibly stressful for me. So what I had to do was actually had to block off my time, and I had to make sure that I got all the homework done well in advance, and I was feeling prepared for things I could prepare for. So I made sure that my piano exam practice was really good. I made sure that I had all of the pieces well practiced and well prepared, made sure that my responses to questions and stuff were as good as well. So I had basically cue cards in any type of free time that I had during the day. I would try and look through the cue cards that had the notes and stuff on the music theory. And then when I was practicing with my team, I made sure not to go too incredibly intense in my practice, because I realized that if I overexert myself, it would make me feel more tired throughout the week, and as a result, I wouldn't perform as well. And so on and so forth. And you can talk about how you manage your time and things like that as well, right? If that is what the learning point is. And you can say, from that experience now, I learned that whatever method was effective, or if it was ineffective, you can now talk about what you will do next time for something else. Can you see how that type of response, where I take some type of thing and then I weave in my achievement, and then I talk about my experience throughout that thing, and then I talk about the learning lesson itself, shows this thing called the growth mindset. You've probably heard that phrase before in school or class or things like that, maybe even on the internet or some YouTubers and things like that. The growth mindset. Yeah. Basically, it just showcases that you're someone who can take experiences and learn from them and apply the learnings next time you have another experience, right? You grow. You literally physically grow as a human being. Yeah. So that is what the growth mindset actually is, where you have experiences and then you learn from them and then you apply them and learn, have other learning lessons and things like that, right? So that is what growth mindset is. A lot of people really underestimate the fact that a growth mindset is what you genuinely want, because a growth mindset is really, really freaking good, because you can have the smallest little inconvenience and then grow tenfold from that. Yeah. So just keep that in mind. Whenever you bring up experiences, you always want to showcase it isn't just a thing on a piece of paper. It is something that I actually applied in real life. It is something that I genuinely grew from, and I can apply the learning lessons to a bunch of other fields. It isn't just that specific field that I worked on. That's what you need to understand. Every single achievement that you had, no matter how big or small, and if you're someone that doesn't have many achievements, this is going to be fantastic for you. Every single achievement you have should have some type of learning lesson attached to it. Every single achievement you have should have some type of learning lesson attached to it. If you don't have a learning lesson attached to it, find one. Okay? There's no point in just having a blanket line on your resume that doesn't add anything. If it just adds another fact, another figure, another little tally mark into your overall character, it doesn't mean anything. But if it showcases some type of deeper meaning, some type of deeper story, that's more impressive. That's more important. So remember that next time you're prepping for your CV and trying to integrate your achievements and your responses, it isn't just about like actually being able to say you have achievements and things like that, because they can see it from your CV, but assume they don't look at your CV. It isn't just about being able to weave it into your responses. It's about expanding on that and showing what the learning lessons are. Because once you show the learning lessons, it showcases something much deeper than just the surface level experience. And this ties back into something that I said before, which is you always want to pick experiences that a lot of people don't have, or achievements that a lot of people don't have. And then if you go much deeper and if you explain much more deeply about how this experience impacted you and how this research and stuff impacted you, much better. It's much better. And even if you don't have crazy good achievements, and even if you have like quite common achievements and whatever that means to you, you can still explain learning lessons, because not many people will have the same learning lesson from that achievement. So just keep that in mind next time you want to include something in your responses or practice your responses, that you should try and incorporate that going forward. Anyway, that's it. That's the video. You know the drill by now. Don't like, don't comment, don't sub. Log off and do something else now. See ya. Yeah, I think I'm good. Tired.